All right. Welcome back to another show of Let's Talk Voice with your hosts, Will and Kevin. I'm
Hello,
Will.
hello.
That's
I'm
Kevin.
Kevin. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Uh Glad to be back. It was kind of a light week on my side of it. Wasn't too busy, wasn't too crazy. It's kind of nice to work on some personal projects and get some things done.
I agree.
So, yeah, it wasn't too bad. You had a light week as well, Will?
Same. Yeah, it was very light. And also, information was light. Me and Kevin were talking about this earlier that there wasn't a lot released in this last week to talk
Mhm.
about. So we're gonna scratching some or bringing some stuff up, and um, hopefully you'll get something out of it.
Yeah.
Um, but like we always try to start off the stream with, we have a Discord.
Mhm.
It's called the Tales of Old Discord, which is like my quote unquote parent company. And that's where you can just talk with us, hang out. You can post anything you wish within the guidelines, of course. And it's pretty much the best way to reach us as well. Uh, so that I will share right now. And then also, oops, um, we both are now on. Um, I'm blanking.
Mastodon?
Mastodon. Thank you.
Mastodon. Yep. I spent some time. I put my profile picture up there.
Ooh,
I started digging
nice.
around. I started looking at it. It's different. It almost has a developer feel to it.
It does.
You have to
It
have more
does.
of a. I guess you don't have to, but
No.
it almost feels like you have to have that developer mindset in order to navigate and kind of get around things.
Uh,
There were some meta tags and some labels and things like that that were options to put under your profile. And I'm thinking, okay, so this is kind of tailoring yourself a little bit, and
yeah,
especially
web
with
more web focused, I guess.
exactly, and even the AWS community dot social. Um, I guess they call them communities that you get into. They not that you're locked into that specific um, environment, I guess I want to say, or
Mm-hmm.
that community,
No,
but it just kind of almost facilitates or cultivates that type of feel, that environment. But I'm liking what I've seen so far with Mastodon. It's different, but it's a good different. So
I agree.
yeah, feel
I
free to.
haven't posted too much on there, but um, sorry to cut you off, Kevin.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, as like what Kevin was about to say, I'm guessing is feel free to reach out to both of us on there. I
Yep,
posted our links in the chat. They are also be underneath our names. So yeah,
perfect, perfect. Yeah, it's a new community and something to kind of not necessarily new, but something to
yeah,
try out and just another way to meet
it's
people,
still
network, and
small.
explore. It is. It
So
is.
I would still call it a new community because of the size of it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
Yep,
would agree.
pretty good. Cool.
So
Well, speaking. Oops. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
So,
You're the king.
speaking of it being a light week, I think you and I both had time to kind of crash on the couch a little bit. And I know you had watched or at least brought up the SAG Awards.
And actually, I just watched a bunch of the stuff today
Oh, okay.
uh,
Okay.
about the SAG Awards. So that is our pop beans today. Is the SAG Awards. I'm going to um, which I wasn't too impressed with their website.
I
Uh,
thought that was exactly my first thought. I'm thinking, huh,
a bunch of web
okay,
developers looking at a website,
right.
and it is just uh,
Uh, yeah,
no really. The
yeah,
biggest thing where it shined was on the page I am right now, which is the nominees and recipients. But if you go back to the homepage,
yeah,
this is the homepage. And if I was coming to a website and I saw this right away, I'm like,
yeah,
what is this?
yeah.
you know? Uh,
I
but
kind of, I kind of had the same exact thought. My first thought was all the money that they have to put towards this, and this is what they put.
yeah,
Just kind of
yeah.
like a
I've
thing, and
seen many more OEM or sorry, vehicle manufacturers that have better websites
mm,
and really flashy. Uh, and this is the Screen Actors Guild. So this is
right,
all actors that are a part of this guild that put on these awards. So yes, like you said, they make a lot of money, and this is what you have.
yeah. Well, okay.
so,
So if you scroll all the way to the
oh,
bottom, and
sorry.
this is my last nitpick.
Okay.
All the way to the bottom on the left, you have City National Bank, an RBC company.
Hmm.
And if you look down at that little lower text there, thank you, City National Bank, for supporting the like, see that line running through it?
Yeah.
That I pick out on these like little details, and that bothered me. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm just nitpicking.
No, I think it's it like it is so it's an image and there's like some
Mhm.
type of text. Oh, is this a
Overlaid, and then
Oh, it's a it's a uh what is it called? A slider.
oh, wait. Oh.
That is
I couldn't tell
horrible.
I couldn't tell
Horrible.
that from the
That's horrible.
well,
But
that tells
anyways,
you I just stayed away from it. Man,
yeah, that is a slider.
let me look.
No one would know that was a slider unless you click on it, and no one's gonna click on it. So,
Right.
SAG Awards. I know you're not even gonna watch this, but hey, get your stuff together.
Yeah, little rough. Little rough.
But anyways, let's get to the winners. That's what all that matters. Obviously, right on the beginning, everything, everywhere, all at once. I still have not seen this film. I want to see this film.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Michelle Yeoh. Excuse me. And so yeah, I want to see this. But have you seen it?
No, I
Okay.
haven't, but I've heard amazing things about it.
Yes. So it is won Cast in Motion Picture
Mhm.
award, and then right after Michelle Yeoh won the female actor in a leading role.
Right?
We got Brendan Fraser in The Whale. Haven't seen it.
Yeah. I haven't seen it either, but I do remember just scrolling through social media or just on your news feeds or whatever that Brandon Fraser kind of this was his back to acting kind of breakout role here that just he nailed it.
Yeah,
So it's something I need to kind of check out. I mean, everybody's saying it's fantastic.
it is. Oh yeah, that's what I heard as well. Um, I was looking at Adam Sandler Hustle.
Hmm.
I could have sworn that was 2 years old, but maybe it was just last year.
Time
But
flies. Time flies.
that is a good movie. I like that one.
Mhm.
But anyways, let's continue on. Jamie Lee Curtis, also in Everything Everywhere All at Once, won
Yeah.
a female actor in a supporting role. I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen that, so I don't know. We
Hmm.
have Ki Hugh Kwan.
Yep.
I think I butchered that. Also, uh, um, in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and he won a male actor in supporting role.
Yeah.
We got The White Lotus. Um,
Not familiar with that one.
so this is on HBO Max, I believe.
Okay.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things about it.
Mhm.
I hear it's funny and whatnot. So
Sure.
yeah, give it a try, I guess. This is one in ensemble in a drama series. Jennifer Coolidge, one female actor in a drama series in White Lotus. So right there.
Mhm.
We got Jason Bateman in Ozark, which I didn't
Yeah.
know that was still going on.
I thought I thought that was done and maybe picked up again for like a final. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
But I remember I remember getting into the beginning of Ozark,
Okay.
but after that I kind of fell off of it with time and everything and other shows
I
and
haven't seen it
movies and
all,
stuff.
so.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, Better Call Saul is old too, so maybe this is
Yeah.
just uh overall. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not
A
sure.
male actor in drama series. Abbott Elementary, one in ensemble in comedy series. It is very funny. We enjoy it in my household. Sometimes it's not for kids, but
Little warning. Yeah.
sometimes kids don't get it. So,
Yeah. Huh.
um, uh, Gene Smart and Hacks. I
Mm.
haven't seen it. Female actor in comedy
No,
series. Um, Jeremy Allen White in The Bear. Also haven't seen it.
haven't seen that either. No,
Jessica Chastain. Chastain,
I think so. I think so.
a female actor in television, movie, and or limited series. Oh, and George and Tammy. Sorry.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did watch this part. Sam Elliott give his speech.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
he was pretty emotional.
Huh.
He won for 1883 male actor in a television movie or limited series.
Nice. I always like
I
hearing his voice. He's one of those voices. He's like James Earl Jones,
mm-hmm.
with the voice he has, or Morgan Freeman.
Morgan
I
Freeman.
feel,
I was just
I
gonna say
feel
the same
like,
thing.
yeah, exactly. I feel like Sam Elliott just has one of those voices that you can pick up anywhere and be like, oh,
Exactly.
that's this guy, or that's this person, or whatever.
Uh, when I try to do a cowboy voice, I try to emulate his voice. You know,
Yeah.
uh, but it's horrible. So that's why it never goes on. We also have Stranger Things in stunt ensemble in television series.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of surprised at that. I think, that there were a lot of stunts in House of the Dragon, The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, that kind of
The
stuff.
Boys.
Well,
I don't know
definitely The
about
Boys.
Andor.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Andor, huh? But I feel like this would have been a tough category too. Like
Yeah, I would
there've been a
agree.
lot.
I don't watch Stranger Things. I know it's kind of weird because they play D&D in it.
Yeah, it's got that
Um,
80s vibe to it.
but I watched like maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute of the first episode, and I was just turned off. So
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I could not get into it.
I think I watched like the first two episodes, and that
Okay.
was it.
Okay.
Everybody's like talking about it, and I'm just like, meh. Okay,
Yeah.
I got stuff
Same.
to do. But
Better series to watch.
yeah,
So yeah, I would agree. I mean, I haven't seen House of Dragon. I haven't seen the last series of season of The Boys,
Hmm.
Once again, I got turned off from the first episode. We're not getting into it. Andor was not great.
Mm. Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of people argue otherwise. I didn't like it.
I'm right
Um,
there with you. I am.
I liked Rings of Power, but I don't know. In stunt ensemble, I don't know what they really are looking for. So,
Right, right.
all right, let's continue on. Stunt
Sure.
ensemble and motion picture. I believe this is the last one.
Correct.
And we got Top Gun Maverick winning, which
Hmm.
is crazy because we have The Woman King, Black
Yeah.
Panther Wakanda Forever,
Yep.
Batman,
Batman and
and
Avatar: The Way
Avatar
of
The Way
Water.
of the Water. What?
Weird.
Why
Yeah.
did Maverick win? I mean,
It,
I've seen all of these movies
yeah,
and
yeah.
I enjoy actually all of them really well, including Top Gun. Uh, this would be so hard.
It
Uh,
really would. Really would.
but you know the Marvel in me, I would pick Black Panther or Batman because those were really
Mhm.
cool movies. My next would probably be The Woman King, then Top Gun, then Avatar.
Yeah.
How about you?
Hmm. Yeah, I think Avatar is probably at the bottom. The Batman had some good stuff to it. Black Panther did as well. I, I would yeah, the Woman King. I would probably be very, very similar to yours. I really would. That's a good question. These are always tough for me to kind of figure out. But my other question too is how much of this is like a media or not a media, but like a popularity contest too. Does that
Yeah, it
make
could be.
sense?
Yeah, like
Like how much media attention got like how do they make their
especially The
decisions?
Woman King was probably not as much media as
Oh
the
yeah, that's true.
Maverick.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, also Batman. I think Batman and Maverick were probably the more popular uh, um, and advertised movies
Hmm.
than Black Panther and Avatar being the second,
Yeah.
and then Woman King in the last. So I don't know.
Agreed. Yeah.
I
And
just want.
who
What's it
makes the
called?
decision? Sorry, who makes the decisions on these?
So it's
Or
the
who
actors that are
nominates?
in the guild.
Okay. So
So
everybody that's
whoever,
in that group
yep, whoever's in the
puts
guild, usually it's also the people that are uh, getting nominated and stuff like that. I think
sure,
I
sure.
could be wrong. I don't know all the tidbits,
Mm,
but yeah, I think it's whoever is in the Screen Actors Guild is also voting for these and picking the nominees. So
gotcha. Okay.
I wanted to point out a couple of Oxygen Box's comments.
Oh, I need to switch.
He said maybe the site is a period piece.
Anyone gets slapped.
And anyone gets slapped? I don't think so. Uh, and you saw Maverick. You think they
Yeah.
stole it from Star Wars Death Star plotline? Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see that. I
yeah,
never
yeah, I
thought
get
of
it.
that.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Oxygen box is
snap.
right. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so crazy. I never put that
That's
together.
true. That's true. That reminds me of like that one joke. There's a stand-up comedian out there that he's like, Harry Potter is kind of a rip off of Star Wars. You got an orphan boy raised by his aunt and uncle, and then, some bearded person comes to him and says, "Hey, I'm gonna teach you this old magic stuff," and goes on the thing, and you know, it started making sense after a while.
Yeah, that does make sense. Oh, wow.
But I
Everything
think we
is rip off of Star Wars, I guess.
that's right. Star Wars is it. I did want to mention that Sally Fields got that Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh
Did you
yes.
see that,
Mm-hmm.
Will? Yeah, that
Yep.
was kind of neat. I
That was
recognized
neat.
her name right off the
Mm-hmm.
bat. So she's
Yeah.
been a lot of stuff, a
Uh,
lot of
we can go over there quickly.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Tons of stuff, but a couple of things. It's the 30th anniversary of Mrs. Doubtfire, um,
Ah,
and she was in that. Uh,
man, I'm old.
um, but yes, so many great films. So yeah, this was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's always kind of neat to see what's going on and what's out there and what gets awards for different things because
Mm-hmm.
some of it you like really agree with. You're like, oh yeah, definitely, and then other stuff you're like, huh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right,
Yep.
all right, but
All right.
yeah, pretty cool. Thanks for bringing
That
that one up.
that is our spilling the pot beans. Our next up section is our Beaningful Conversation,
Yeah,
which
sure.
we have
Do-
two things. Let's actually start off with yours that you shared
Perfect.
first.
Perfect. You're reading my mind, Will. I was going to ask if I could go first. At the top of the show, we had mentioned that things were a little bit light as far as news and whatnot, but on the blogs, the Amazon blogs that you can find, uh, they're starting to put out some newer content. You know, I think they're starting to really the I know the developer advocacy group, the DAG, I'm going to call it. They've been on office hours more recently, um, at a more consistent basis. So representatives from their team are, becoming more forward front facing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to see that, and then they put these blog posts out there and it just really makes you feel like they're starting to listen to some of the developers out there that are saying, "Hey, how do we get in touch?" Or, what are some resources that we're looking for. Can we have things updated? Stuff like
Yep.
that. So it's nice to see. And for example, this one was just one of them. I think it's kind of a niche request for a post, but it's how to find your live skill. And Isis Lopez wrote this one actually yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, again, how to find your life skill, but it was written very, very well, very detailed with, screenshots
A lot of
in here as
screenshots.
well. I didn't care for the screenshots, just my personal opinion. I felt like they were huge right in my face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they are detailed, and that's nice to see, because when you're trying to troubleshoot, you always want as much information or to
Mm-hmm.
provide as much information as you can to that person that's having an issue. And it starts off simple, saying, hey, there could be multiple reasons for this. And it could be the language settings between your Alexa app and the live skill don't match. Your Echo device might be set up for a different country, or your live skill had been developed for other locales, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if you're looking for your skill or you're trying to explain to somebody, hey, I think more of, crossing timeline or time zones and stuff in different countries. If you're, for example, if we were talking to someone in the UK or India, like, hey, here's my skill, and they couldn't find it, this would be a good example of the why, because
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't developed in their locale or
Correct.
for their locale. Um, but I feel like if I was developing my skill, I think you get beat over the head enough with what, zone you're in that you're aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice to see that the, Alexa app in the mobile device aspect, like for your iPhone and Android devices, was mentioned here
Mm-hmm.
because I really think that's where a lot of people are installing skills from. I think that a lot go to the skill store through their desktop or their laptop or whatever, but I do think a lot of people are discovering skills I don't have any info to back that up, numbers, but I really think they're pulling a lot through the app. So it's nice to see them give screenshots and not just give screenshots, but they're annotated as well. They're
Hmm.
outlining the about box that you need to tap, or they're, really clearly defining what piece of information you need to look for. So I'm really happy with this, and I'd love to see more of these types of topics being put out there by the DAG group, the developer advocacy group, that we can take advantage of. I think some things could be even basic, but it's a good starting point. So I just wanted to
Yeah,
bring that up. So
I would agree. I thought this. I would uh, reiterate that I also thought it was a very detailed article
mhm,
and a lot of screenshots. I think they could have dialed the height of the screenshots
sure.
or width a little bit. Um,
Mhm.
but besides that, it was great to see this detailed in a post. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would like to see some of the developer console screenshots too. You know, um, Something like if you're, it's tough to think of an example on the spot, but if you're looking for an XYZ almost tutorial type of situation for an issue that you're running into, maybe it's certification or something, and there's something that you need to tweak. It would be really, really nice to have a blog post that's organized like that with
yeah,
screenshots, maybe an arrow pointing to the exact, not necessarily exact because everybody's code's different, of course, but the general area that you need to be in or what's flagging something that you need to adjust. So
yep. But
yeah,
also have it written out as well, not just
sure,
having images because not everyone can see, and
exactly.
there are people that are blind or deficit,
Mhm.
vision
Impaired, yeah,
deficit, impaired, wherever. Thank you. That do code for Alexa,
absolutely.
and so yeah, make sure it's still written out. But these nice images, I would 100% agree
Yeah,
that we have those. So,
sure.
did you have anything else on this article?
No, just to wrap that piece up, I'm glad to see it, and I'm looking forward to maybe that could be a weekly thing for someone, in the team. Maybe they could just round robin it. One week someone else is doing it, and then the next week another person is doing it.
Yeah,
That kind of thing. It'd be neat to get some different perspective and ideas.
I like it.
Cool. But you had a really interesting topic. We got some more APL.
Yeah, so I kind of feed off of whatever happens in office hours.
Sure.
If you haven't
Sure.
got that yet, um, and I was just doing a search, and I landed on the design guide
Hmm.
uh, homepage, I believe it is, and there is so much information here. I'm not sharing my screen. There's so much information here. I can't even go in depth on all this stuff, but there's a lot of stuff in here. The one thing I wanted to emphasis is these fundamentals. All these topics here,
Hmm.
you can just go into them. It is the second over from the top, from the second over from the left.
Right.
Um, and then we have the multimodal design. This is what I was actually going to go into a little bit more detailed,
Oh, perfect.
but not too much detail because there's so much stuff here. It is so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
oops, no,
I will say, and I've said this before on stream, the documentation that Amazon puts out is just amazing. I mean, I think, some of the best I've ever seen with its layout and its examples and just organization. Even on that main page that we were on, the welcome part, if you scroll to the bottom of that, it's broken down into
Oops.
different sections. I'm new to Alexa and conversation design. And then it
Yeah.
gives you sections of where you need to really drill down. So I've said it
Hmm.
before, I'm gonna have to say it again, but kudos to the team for that.
Yeah, I really enjoy this this site so far. It's
Mhm.
easy to navigate. It is clear. It is not very busy,
Yeah.
um, and clean. I guess is a good way to point it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good word for it.
So actually, I didn't want introduction. I want a style guide. Uh, so style guide is a great thing for learning how to make anything visual that
Mhm.
you're bringing to the user. So this goes into detail about density, grids and spacing, color, iconography, and typography, which I don't even know why they have a typography one because it's going to be really short. But
Right.
anyways, the grids. This was a really great one to see how they have it all laid out, and they have many different images here to show you what it would look like on the screen. They have some other spacing examples, uh, and then we go into color. Color is a great one. I think I'll cover this here in a minute, but there's a lot of I guess they're called plugins that you can use that Alexa's team has already created.
Mhm.
And one of them is you can utilize different colors and you can stylize your stuff using this plugin.
Right.
So this was a great thing to look into. Iconography, pretty good. Good to know what the sizes are, what the classification are to utilize some of those plugins, as I just stated.
Yep.
Um, what else we got here? So we're still. Oh, we're in typography. All right, I went too fast. Typography. They don't have many fonts, but there are ways around it. You can create your own fonts with APL Ninja, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So shout out to APL Ninja. Um, but besides that, it's like the size, the weight, the style,
Mhm.
and that's pretty much it for what you're going to do to stylize your text on in APL.
Right.
But there is a few other things, but that's pretty much it. Um, and once again, with styles and or typography and styles, there's a plugin that you can have that can you make your typography be more responsive depending on what
Mhm.
screen size you have.
Right. Right.
So in APL, you set what size your script is, your text is. And if you don't change it, it will always be like, let's say I think the standard is 40 DP.
Okay.
I forget what DP stands for. So whatever. We'll say pixels,
Sure.
40 pixels.
Yeah.
um, I think it's like detailed pixels, or I don't know. Doesn't
It's
matter.
something, yeah, particular.
Uh, so we'll say 40 pixels. So if you don't change it, it's gonna be 40 pixels on a small screen, and that's huge. That
Yeah,
is uh, a header font on a small screen. So that's where you want to use these plugins to make it more dynamic and shrink it down on smaller screens and increase it on bigger screens.
right,
Um,
right.
I
Yeah,
just
dense
realized,
density independent pixels.
huh? I knew pixels had to do with
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So yeah, it's just a
Nice.
different system, whether
Yeah.
it's M's or
I think it has
DPs or
to also do
PXs.
with the Apple. I I'm just throwing this out. I think Apple created it, but I could be wrong.
It's possible. It's possible.
But anyways, we're going to go back to the responsive components. Um, and these are just a great reference to see what these different components look like.
Hmm.
So once again, I'm just going to breeze through these because there's so much. But we have obviously a background, so that's pretty simple, right? You have a picture or a color,
Hmm.
and then you can scale it differently, and you can also position it differently. They have super detailed information on all of this stuff. It's crazy.
Right, right.
Um,
Yeah, I found the
and
overlays interesting.
yeah, the overlays are, like you said, interesting. You can blur it, color overlay, gradient. Um, I don't know what these other things are, but excuse me.
Yeah. Well, even that next section of video backgrounds, that's something you've had experience with too.
Yeah, I have. Um, Videos are great to bring the user's attention.
Hmm.
It is the only way we can have moving objects besides like a like you can move things, but it's not as fluid as video. But also there's what am I blanking on? Uh, there the we talked about it in office hours too.
Oh,
Uh, Alexa, I can't remember,
I'm
but
not
there's others
sure.
like SVGs. There's AVGs. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. Okay.
SVGs, which are movable, simple pictures, not
Hmm.
like detailed pictures like this camera right here. So you could only have like a video of this camera being, being talked about or whatever.
Right, right.
You could not do that with SVGs. Buttons, these are great for like what they have examples here
Hmm.
that where you can watch a video, you can see a gallery, and you can see that they're they're um, responsive.
Right.
So they shrink down on a smaller device. We just need to get rid of this.
What's
I
that?
have
What is?
one, the small
Oh,
circle.
this. Yeah, yeah.
I have one, but I stopped developing for it. Um, I like these buttons, but they are too simple. Really wish they
I've
would add
noticed that as well.
a color. Uh, just let us edit the colors.
Yeah.
That would be one thing I would say. Please let us do. And
Yep.
then maybe next would be um, um, the radius, the uh,
Like the border strength.
border radius,
Okay.
border radius. So the how curved the sides are.
Hmm.
If you just want a square box, let us have a
Right.
square box. If you
Right.
want to just slightly rounded corners, let us just have slightly rounded corners.
Yep. Yep. It's like what happened a few years ago with the Android design language. They went from like this boxy squared style to this rounded pill-shaped everything, you
Oh,
know. So,
yeah.
yeah, it's just a design language, I know. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
right there with you. I'd love to see some color, I'd love to see some customizations. Give me even if I don't use it, I would love to at least have the option for it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And that would be pretty simple to optimize too.
yeah.
So
For sure.
we have also icon buttons. I have not used this too much. I've wanted to use it for like X buttons, to
Like,
close something,
I'll close. Okay, exit, close. Yeah.
but I have not found these to work really well.
Okay.
Excuse me. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
Divider. This is like a list of things. I've never
Yeah.
used it.
I can see use cases for it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, Absolutely can. I'd like to be able to, again, customize a little bit. Like this just looks like a very, I don't know, 2 pixel, 1 pixel, whatever it is, or DP or whatever. But I'd like to be able to maybe separate a little bit more or change a little bit of that, or even have it be a wavy underline type of divider, or just something that would add some style or some theme to what my skill is about, you know?
Yeah, I agree there. All right. And then we got the header, which I've talked about it in the past. I think is a
Right.
waste of space. There's much more better ways to utilize the space than
Hmm.
to have a header. But that's just my
Sure.
personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're looking at something like a show 5, that screen is smaller to begin with, and you're just taking up valuable real estate. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely understand where you're coming from on that one.
Footer, I would say the footer is actually beneficial on some screens.
Okay.
It does give you the hint ability,
Hmm.
which you could do this on your own, but it's pretty easy to implement if you really want a hint to tell the user what you should be doing on this screen or what you could be doing on this screen, I should say.
Right.
Uh,
Some type of prompt. Yeah.
and a lot of skills actually need this and don't have it.
I would agree. Absolutely. Yep.
So, how are we doing on time? We're all right.
Yep. You're okay.
Page counter. This is pretty beneficial if you have a lot of pages, like if it's like a book or a magazine
Yeah.
or just a bunch of images that you like to show. You want to see how many images are in this collage or
Or
carousel, whatever.
yeah. Yeah. I was
Um,
actually looking at implementing page counters in a photography skill that I'm working on.
mm,
So this is right up my alley for what I was looking to do.
nice,
So
very cool.
um yeah, I do like the numerical aspect of it rather than like your dots or your dash lines
Hmm.
in order to indicate how many are on the page. I do like the numerical. I think
Like
it's
the
it's
SAG
pretty great.
thing
Oh, right,
about it,
right. Yeah, exactly.
not even knowing what it was.
Yep.
A progress bar. So I've never implemented this. I like the idea, but
Yeah, that's interesting. Um,
would this only be for like music or a video?
um, well, that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I'm looking at. I see like media playback control.
Yep.
See that? I almost thought for a second that this progress bar was a form of like page counter or pagination, where it would count your progress. Like
Oh, I can see that.
if you had 12 images at 6, it would be like right in the middle at
Mm-hmm.
50%. I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of the progress bar, but I do see that there's a note here about media playback control, and you can
Yeah.
use that progress bar as a slider. And I see a buffer, progress buffer
Mm-hmm.
option. So yeah, I think
Yeah, it's
this is
probably
more.
more for media.
Yeah,
But there is a loading. If you scroll down, there's a determine loading,
I see
which that doesn't make any sense.
that. Yeah,
But
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure the use case for that one for me.
if you have something that's loading,
Yeah.
um, I don't know if it's worthwhile.
Right. I mean, there is that theory out there, that thought that if your skill or your app or whatever is doing something, but you need to show the end user that it is doing something.
Yeah.
Like if you refresh a page and you look up in your tab and it's doing the little spinning thing, that just shows you that yes, it is doing something. But if in some of these skills, if you have to wait that long for something to process or load in or what have you,
Hmm.
then maybe there's another option that you can look at to improve that rather than have to go in and give the user something to distract them while it loads, if you know what I mean.
Hmm. Yep.
So,
For me, like on my skills, um, the only time I would actually think this is beneficial is at the launch of my skill, because sometimes my skills
mm,
take um not a minute, a few seconds to launch. I don't
right,
know if
right,
it is that it hasn't been launched in a while, or if it just is, has a lot of, to load at the beginning of
sure.
the launch. I'm not really sure. So that would be the only thing. But you can't really do that because your skill isn't open yet. So you can't
Hmm.
tell the device to show this prior to opening your skill. So
Exactly. And I I don't know if you've ever played. Well, of course you have. Some of these video games, right, where you're getting to the next section and you're getting to a load screen, and then you're just like taking a second, putting the controller down, whatever. But that's not really something that we experience in skills, you
yeah.
know. So I don't really see a load screen need either,
And then if you do,
necessarily.
if you are having a more complicated skill, mostly in games like you're describing, you would actually have something programmed within the game itself.
Hmm.
Uh, and most of the time, you're not going to be using APL to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
So you're going to be using Web API to do something like that. So
sure, yeah,
yeah, I don't know. Let's
yeah,
continue on though. We
absolutely.
have ratings. Um, I've used actually used this in the past,
Hmm.
and it's okay. But once again, you couldn't uh, uh, edit it at all.
Okay,
So I ended up not using this one. I it was a custom one, so it is whatever. Um, oh, this is just showing more of the rating stuff.
hmm, yeah. Uh, Selection controls. I'm just gonna make a comment that I'm not a big fan of switches. I I find them like sometimes, however they're implemented, you have to like swipe them to turn them on or off. Sometimes you just have to touch them to turn them on or off. I'm not a big fan of those switches.
Yeah. Um, and a lot of these, I can see checkbox being utilized
Hmm.
and maybe radio buttons. But
Sure.
I don't know about switches.
I,
Unless you have like a home integration skill
right.
where you want to turn a light off or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and even, but I don't know why you would make something like that since
Hmm.
Alexa already has something very well done that you can utilize.
Right.
If you just want to do it yourself, maybe. But
Hmm.
yeah, but the check boxes. This is a great example of their built-in list, um, which is not APL. And
Yeah.
maybe it's APL. Who knows?
Huh?
Um, and then we got some radial buttons. Oh, excuse me. And we have some switches. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Sliders are always interesting too.
uh, and this would be kind of cool to have in maybe an American band to make it more
Oh yeah,
interactive.
that's true.
I'll have to tell Chris about
That's
that.
true.
Yep, here we go with sliders. Going back to the media stuff, you can
Hmm.
slide through the track.
Yeah. I feel like media player controls have been so standardized at this point that you don't really do too much customization with them. Everybody understands at this point that the circle with the triangle in it is play,
Yeah,
and then the two bars that or lines up, vertical lines,
it's
pause,
pause.
stop is a square. I mean, that's
Yeah.
almost kind of a universal language at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I agree.
cool.
And then they jump into more of the media controls. Transport controls is what they call
Yeah.
them. But yeah, that's a lot there, and we just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
So if you are really into APL and like to know more, check out that link I've sent in the chat, or you can find it on their developer.amazon.com site. Also, if you just type in APL Alexa, like I
Mhm.
did, you'll find it.
Yeah.
So that is that.
Yeah. I mean, good, clean docs. Really happy to see those. They're always making resources better. So again, glad to see it. Cool.
I agree. Um,
Uh,
so we're going to start this off with what one of these days Boylan is going to uh,
be a
sponsor
stream
this.
sponsor. Nice. Nice.
I'm going to hopefully you'll see this once in a while, but I actually had to drive 30 minutes to buy this beer, or
Oh my
root
goodness.
beer.
Really?
30 minutes because it's actually only about 3 miles, but it's horrible traffic.
Traffic was terrible that day.
No, it's just
Man,
always horrible.
should have
Uh,
taken the helicopter. Yeah.
yeah, right.
Jeez, what were you thinking?
But it might have been 20 minutes. It's probably more than 20 minutes, but still, long
So my
time to get just root beer, and yeah.
and that was the
So
only thing you had to get, right? Like that was the only purpose for going outside was
my
to
wife would be very upset if I just got the root beer. So no, I
right.
didn't just get root beer, but
There you go. Nice. Nice.
yeah, they stopped
Um,
selling it at the place that we started going. So I went to their website,
mhm. Yeah.
boylan.com, I believe. And found where I could get some locally, but
Nice.
that isn't my bean of the week. I just wanted to throw that out there. My bean of the week is kind of fun or
Okay.
funny. Um, well, funny and sad at the same time. Our cat got sick and he had to go to the hospital.
Okay.
Um, and he got back. He had to have a bunch of medicine.
Mm,
Um, and we were locking him up in our laundry room while we uh, while he was eating his food, and I had his medicine in his food. Uh, so we needed to figure out if he was done or not. So I put oops, this blink camera in there
oh,
that
nice.
I actually
Smart.
had just on our fish because we would watch our fish when we were gone, we were
Yeah. Yeah.
away. Which it wasn't that great of a shot either, but it somewhat worked.
Yeah.
So I moved it to that room and it worked out great. Except for tonight, my son put the his bowl like right next to the camera, so I couldn't even see if he was done or not.
Sure. Sure.
But it it's been a pretty good buy. I
Yeah.
actually got this camera not for this much. This is a 2 pack that I shared, but I
Mhm.
got it with like I think it was a 5 inch a show with a blink. It was
Oh
like
yeah, a bundle.
a black
Yep.
Friday a bundle.
Yep.
But I figured I'd share it because I thought the story is kind of fun and whatnot. So
Yeah.
yeah,
The quality on those is pretty good too. I have a
it
couple
is.
of
It
those.
is.
And I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, they're indoor, they're wired, but
You can
they do
zoom
well.
in on the camera. You can pan around within the box at least
Mhm.
while zoomed in. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty decent.
Oxygen Box says you should attach a camera to the cat or fish. That would be
I
cool.
think
That would be
my
cool.
son would love it.
Right.
If we get a $500 GoPro, we'll do it.
All right. Nice. We'll see. We'll start a YouTube channel of just, your cat just walking around the house and stuff. Cool. Important question: is the cat doing better?
Yes, yes. Well, for the most part,
Okay.
he drives me crazy, but he is doing.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool. Um, Mine is a pretty easy one this week. It was a book that I picked up, uh, actually a little while ago, but I finally got around to reading it. Like I said, it was a light week. I had some time,
nice.
and um, I found this YouTube channel like on a whim, like going down the rabbit hole at like 2 in the morning. You're just clicking the next related video, and I found this Dad How Do I channel, and it was kind of neat because he's just showing you how do I change a tire, and he just explains it in plain English, pretty
Okay.
basic. And so I was at like Barnes and Noble or somewhere, and I found it. I was like, "Oh, I recognize that." And the guy, Rob Kenny, he wrote a book just about his life experiences and what made him start the YouTube channel of how to show kids or just anybody who doesn't know how to do something that they would ask their dad or their parent or whatever how to do something like tie a tie, jumpstart a car, you know, use power tools, whatever it is. Um, he didn't have his dad around to teach him that stuff. So when he had the capability or what have you, the resources, he just decided, hey, I'm gonna teach others that these things that I never had the opportunity to learn from my father. So
Nice, nice.
it's a really good book. Really good book.
Okay,
I've made it like 3 or 4 chapters into it, and I enjoy it.
nice.
So yeah, it's kind of neat. So, but yeah, I had some time. Figured I'd read.
Yeah.
So nice to step away from the computer every once in a while.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I think we had a really good
Nice.
stream. Will we covered the Discord that we have available. It's free to join, free to jump in there. We're I'm trying out the Mastodon aspect, so feel free to follow me. Is that what they call it? Follow? I think it's follow
Yes, it is follow.
on on there. Send me a message so I can just learn, play around, whatever. But we could start up a conversation and see how it grows and progresses. The SAG Awards, always neat to see what's going on in the pop culture world.
Yeah.
We had, the fact, more of the fact that I wanted to bring up of just the teams within Alexa or Amazon and Alexa are being more proactive, which is nice to see by putting out these blog posts that are pretty specific.
Mm-hmm.
And of course we did I was gonna say a deep dive, but there's just so much there into the APL docs, that we could do a 5-part series and still barely touch scratch the surface of it. So,
Sure.
but I think it was a good stream. Well, anything else you wanted to add to it?
I did want to show, which I totally dropped the ball multiple times. I have a few gifts that I would like to show the audience that I actually was supposed to work into the stream.
Okay.
I have spoken. I have that one, and
Mhm.
this is the way.
This is the way.
So those are two great ones. And
Nice.
if you follow us on Twitch or follow this channel on Twitch, uh, you will get to see this now. Say what? Did you? Are you listening to the Twitch also?
No, I'm gonna have to go
Okay,
back and look. Yeah.
so uh, it's me saying "Say what," and then it's Will Ferrell saying "Say what" GIF.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Nice.
I have
Nice.
all that stuff in the stream. I just need to use it more.
There you go.
But yeah,
Nice.
I'll eventually get the hang of everything.
Right.
But that's what I wanted to say.
So when I
Thanks.
say, oh, sorry. So when I
Yep,
say something super profound and wise, you'll be like, just throwing it up there. This is the way, or something like that. I'm like, oh, okay,
exactly.
okay, okay.
Or I have spoken.
I have spoken. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So it's to play on words with let's talk voice, spoken. This is the way, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So whatever.
Nice.
Also, say what? My wife really wanted me to actually name this title. Say what? Say what?
Yeah.
Uh,
What?
th- let's talk voice. I was like, that's too long. Let's do let's talk voice, and then I'll implement say what into it.
There you go.
So
It's all about the compromise.
yeah, I do like it. I just didn't want it the whole title that way. So, anyways, thank you everyone for watching or watching in the future. Please do subscribe or follow or all the things. Uh, 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 Join us on Discord. Join us on Mastodon. Everything will be awesome. And we'll see you next week with another great episode. So, see you then. Bye, everyone.